Tyrese 90 is the fewest you guys have allowed in a game this season. What stood out to you about what you guys were able to do defensively, especially against a team that scored 150 on you 6 days ago?
I just thought we did a good job locking in, understanding that we just played them like a week ago, and schematically, I thought we just did a good job of locking into what they did, doing a good job of, with AD and LeBron in the post. It's difficult, but I think that AA and Miles did a good job fighting those guys, and I thought we did a good job of, we were in double. We were doubling from time to time, and then just did a good job of rotating and finishing possessions with rebounds, so that helped.
150 Sunday for them, the in-season tournament finals. Was there anything more to really wanting to put it to them tonight for you guys?
I think that obviously they just beat us like a week ago, and obviously that in-season tournament game is a big game, and but I think that there's always going to be juice when you play the Lakers. You know what I mean? There's going to be. They travel well. The fans are, they go crazy for them. So I think it's a big game no matter what.
TJ's scoring is really up since the All-Star break tonight. Big late first, early second stretch where he was really filling it up. How have you seen him kind of evolve as a scorer this season, and how important can that be for you guys on a night-to-night basis?
Yeah, I think just being really ultra-aggressive, and I think he just has playing with a lot of confidence, really trusting his jumper right now. I wouldn't say that he's ever trusted his jumper as an NBA player, so I think that that's really changing things for him. And you guys see and you know him, he just plays with a lot of confidence, and I think that really helps.
Just what does it say for just how far you guys have come defensively? I mean, we spent all the beginning of the season talking about how the defense wasn't good enough for you guys to hold these guys to 90 after you gave up to 150 on Sunday. Just what does it say for how the progress that you guys have made on that end?
Well, pump the brakes. We still got a lot more basketball to play, but I think that it was pretty obvious, like early in the year, that our mindset from a player's perspective was we were just going to outscore people. And I think that around Christmas, when we were on like 500 there, we had to make a decision to defend, and understand that, the better that we are defensively, our offense kind of flows off that, and just be able. I think that helps us win games when shots aren't falling, And I think that early in the year we really struggled to figure out how to do that, and I think that we've just done a good job. I think we've been better defensively, which has really helped us, and our offense will, get back to being where it is. We just, grow in rhythm and stuff with, new guys and personnel and stuff. So just figuring the offensive side out right now. But defensively, I think we're just doing a good job. If we just lock in on a game-to-game basis, our offense will come.
You mentioned AA. I guess you obviously trusted him for a long time to take on these assignments, but how did you see him progress in the 3 matchups in terms of dealing with LeBron? He played 39 minutes tonight, was only called for 1 foul, and he used to have an issue with that when it came to defending some of these guys. Certainly not easy to do it without fouling. How have you seen the progress for him on these individual matchups?
Yeah, I think that Aaron is going to be one of the better defenders in our league. He can guard multiple positions like 1 through 4. We played Philly earlier in the year, and he had to guard Joel for a little stretch. So, he's just doing a great job, and just he is one of the biggest examples in our league of just knowing your role and excelling in that, and while continuing to grow his game at the same time. I think that the more he's playing, the more his confidence is growing, and what he does defensively, and he's just a special guy, and I'm glad that he'll be here long term.
You were talking the other night about wanting to get to 42. What's it mean to know you have a winning season?
Yes, I forgot about it. Yes. First winning season in the NBA. Yes. It's been a long 4 years, so I'm excited that we finally I've clinched a winning season, so hopefully there's a lot more to come.
Yep.
Tyrese. What's that? I'm sorry. That's okay. Rick talked about how.
Go ahead.
Rick talked about how every game right now for you guys is a playoff game. How close is this team to actually being in playoff mode, or how long have you been in playoff mode?
Yeah, I think just taking it on a game-to-game basis is the biggest thing for us. I think when you get caught up in standings and how far the playoffs are, matchups, all that stuff, then you lose what's in front of you. And I think we've seen examples of that throughout, the course of our season, just worrying about the wrong thing. So I think for us it's just taking it on a game-to-game basis, understanding that every game is very meaningful moving forward, and just how can we keep growing until, we get to the playoffs. Everybody knows, where we want to be come playoff time. So we just got to keep taking it on a game-to-game basis and taking care of business.
Rick 90 allowed is the fewest you guys have had this season. What do you like about what your team did defensively in this game?
Very determined defensive effort. Tyrese top to bottom. Really started with our best players. Started with Tyrese, Pascal, and Miles. Those guys led the way. I thought Tyrese had a really, really strong game defensively. And, we were real tied together as a team. On the road trip when we struggled, we took some shortcuts and we did some things that, short-circuit our collective success. So tonight we adjusted and did some really good things, and really happy for our guys. It's hard holding this team to 90 after, giving up 150 5-6 days ago, whatever it was.
To that end, what did you guys change some things specific? Was it just more effort in this game? You were, wanted more of that in Chicago. What do you think led to such a dramatic change from 6 days ago against the same team?
A few adjustments and a much greater edge, a much greater, compete level, determination, level of guts, all that kind of stuff, grit. I mean, these are all playoff games. I mean, they're fighting, for their position in the standings. We are, so this is big time stuff.
I see about McConnell scoring before the Bulls game, but today in the first half, he had a couple important buckets in that late first quarter, early second stretch. How has he kind of been changing games for you, especially with the way he's been playing offense of late?
TJ's just a terrific player. I mean, he's aggressive. You dare him to do something, he's gonna do it. He keeps pressure on the rim. He passes the ball. He defends. He does a lot of the physical things that a lot of smaller guards don't like to do. He takes hits on screens. He draws offensive fouls, and he's just super valuable.
Aaron played 39 minutes almost entirely on LeBron, was called for one foul. What's just that say about just the progress he's made in taking on those assignments? Obviously, last year he had to spend a lot of time figuring out how the whistle was going to go, the amount of contact he was allowed to use. I mean, just what does it say for just his total performance on him, what he was able to do there?
What a loaded question, huh?
I'm not trying to get you in trouble. I'm asking about Aaron. I mean, that's the thing he had to get used to last year.
Look, Aaron's the best we got, at the wing position. He and Drew, are the two best press-up guys and, physical individual defenders. And we have other guys that are good too, but, Aaron carries the flag when it comes to guarding guys like LeBron James. I mean, that body type, we got nobody else, so it speaks to his maturity. It speaks to how he's adjusted his game to, fit the way the game is being officiated now. And, he puts his body in there, he shows his hands, and he makes it tough. And he just keeps coming.
He gave tough efforts all 3 games that he guarded. But how did you see him get better in that matchup? What kind of lessons do you think he learned from Vegas, from Sunday? How did you see him kind of apply things that he learned about taking on that matchup from game to game?
We did a lot of things better as a team tonight that helped a lot of the individual matchups. It's just any success we have is going to be about us and what we do together. We have a talented team, but we don't have the kind of talent to win on talent alone. We've got to be gritty. We've got to be together, and we've got to have a strong collective will. And tonight was probably the strongest collective effort we've had all year. If you look at 90 points given up, I think that is pretty good proof. And now, now this week we've got to sustain. We've got 7 more to go, and they all mean plenty.
What just one team aspect of the defense? I mean, 5 of 29 from 3 there. What do you guys think you did particularly well, defending the 3-point line and keeping them from getting clean looks?
We played with more presence, and they felt us tonight. Our crowd was great. You play in your home floor, it's going to be different than playing out at their place or in Vegas where the 4/5 of the people in the stands are Laker fans. So this is the first home game we've had with these guys, and we weren't perfect by any stretch, but when they made runs, on the flagrant foul where they get free throws and the ball back, we get that stop, we score, and we just we held up to the tests, and it's a great effort, it's a great result. Now we got to rest up and get ready for the next one.
Pascal, 90 is the fewest this team has allowed in a single game all season. What stood out to you about what you guys did on the defensive end of the floor compared to your normal games?
No, I think overall we've been like a lot better. Obviously there was that game against the Lakers over there, and I think we just kind of like took it kind of personal. It felt like they felt like the game was easy. That game was pretty easy for them offensively. So we just had like a better focus in terms of just like the things that we want to do and how we want to do them, and we just did it like. With just so much more communication, and we were in sync in terms of just like rotation, making it hard on them to just have easy layups. I know the game before they had so many points in the paint, like that was our focus, and the guys responded. Just compared to the 150 that we had in LA.
What kind of progress have you felt this team make on the defensive end just since you got here 2 months ago?
Yeah, no, I think we getting better. I think obviously like coming in, I knew that was an area that as a team we had to get better on. And I think that's been our focus. We know how talented we can get, like offensively and when we play the way we play. But I think we all understand that what's going to make us special is a defensive end, and everyone's buying into that. And coaches put a lot of emphasis on it, and we work on it. And there's a lot of film sessions. There's a lot, like just correcting the things that we're not doing well. And I think, like I said, the guys are responding and we all have our heads in the right place in terms of just wanting to execute it. There's going to be some nights where it's not going to look great, but I think as long as we minimize those nights, like we'll be all right.
What has TJ becoming a little bit of a jump shooter these last couple of weeks meant for this team, and what was it like playing against him for years in the East?
Pretty annoying, but yeah, I think having him on our team, like just to see like how easy it is out there, it looks like for him. He just gets his spot. He's one of those guys. I don't know how tall he is, but I think when you talk about people getting to the spots, it's always like bigger guys and like the wings and things like that. But as he knows where to get to on the floor, and he gets to that every single time, and the result is almost 100% every time. So and he plays with so much pace and energy, and that's always needed. And obviously glad that he's on my team now.
Just to stick with him, is there a secret to what he does? Like, what makes that work? Again, he's always running in there against guys that are way taller, and he finds a way to get a bucket.
I don't know. I wish I knew. I know he can't score that on me though, but I think he's just so great. Like I said, on getting to the spot, and I'm sure I see him, like before games, during practice times, like he works on that, So it's like I think once he gets to that, it just feels automatic. Like to me, like that's what I think about when he shoots it. I just say auto, like it's just going in. It feels like every time, even when it misses. So yeah, credit to him. Like I think he puts the work into that, and like I said, I've seen him a couple of times do that, and he's just great at that.
Obviously, when you're dealing with LeBron, it's always a team assignment on some level. But Aaron was the guy that drew him primarily, and that's he's had him all three games they played against them this year. Just what impressed you about what he did? He played 39 minutes and he only had one foul. Just what impressed you about just what he did there?
I saw that. I was like, oh my God, I've never seen like 39 minutes anywhere in this team. I was used to seeing 39 minutes with the Raptors every night for me. So like seeing that was kind of like, oh man, that's crazy. But he's just so strong, like at his size, and able to hold his own against one of the best players ever. Like and I think LeBron's just strong, and Aaron got that strength too, and he plays so hard, and I think obviously you want to say it's a team thing, but he's the one primarily on him and making it hard on him every single possession. And yeah, kudos to him, man. Like that's a tough assignment, to have as a player, and he took it, and every time, LeBron was out there, he was out there, and he was guarding him the whole way. So yeah, shout out to him. Like that's super impressive.
What obviously you were able to get going offensively tonight. What how do games like this that are a little bit slowed down when possessions are kind of at a premium. Like, how do you feel like that sort of sometimes fits what you want to do?
Yeah.
That you're
No, it's, like I said, I think for me, either way we want to play, like I think I'm able to do that. Like if we want to play fast, I'm able to do that, and if we want to slow it down, like I'm able to do that as well. So I think just like again for me, just continue to pick my spots, and I think the more we get into these games, like the more like it's gonna be like kind of like acts of me to make some of those plays, and it's not always about scoring. And I think that obviously Ty is so great at like setting up everyone that I think for me like just for him to know that there's someone else out there that can do the same. Like obviously probably not as great as he does it, but I'm able to do that and in different ways, and it's gonna be hard for the defense, so if he does it and I do as well.
Hi, Pascal. Yeah, I didn't have a chance to talk to you before the game, so sorry for not to ask you about the game.
Oh.
I'm working on the story about Yuta Watanabe.
Hey, Yuta!
Yeah, I want to ask about him. When he came to the Raptors camp at the first time, I think not so many people knew about him.
Yeah.
How did he make his presence to the team?
Yeah, Yuta's a great guy. Like I think he works so hard. Great energy about him, and he's just one of those players that you want to have on your team, and always good energy, just and plays so hard, and I think that's what kind of impressed everyone. Just knowing that he's not scared to go for he's gonna jump on everything. He's gonna try to grab a rebound. He can shoot the ball well, and like I said, he's just like a good person to have around, a good player, and he took advantage of an opportunity back in Toronto, and I was happy for him. And after that, he was able to get opportunities and to go play on other teams, and but yeah, he's a very good player, and we definitely had good memories like in Toronto with him.
How do you see him as a person?
As a person, yeah, he's great. Yuta's funny. He's always happy. He's always like looking to just be there for everyone, and he was a great teammate when I was with him, and I think we always good friends even now.
Guys didn't put it to chance, didn't leave this one up into the last couple of minutes. How were you able in that stretch to put the game away?
Yeah, we talked throughout the year about playing with the lead and being mature, so I think we did a good job of just keeping that pace up and just keeping that foot on the gas on both sides of the floor.
Aaron Nesmith had the primary role on LeBron James, but it was you some, and it was really a group effort. He goes for 16. That's about as good as you can do on a guy like him. Your thoughts on the team effort, what you were able to do, what Aaron was able to do?
On defense?
Yeah.
I think we did a good job of just being aggressive, being physical, setting the tone. They had 150 last game against us, only 90 this time, so clearly a big difference on that side for us in terms of focus, attention to detail, and hard play.
Were you motivated after allowing 150? Like, does that creep into the subconscious as you play this one 5 days later?
Most definitely. That's kind of embarrassing, honestly. And we got a group of competitive dudes, so when we see something like that, it's a nice challenge for us, and we got them back in a couple of days.
Another nugget that was a really good one, just 18 free throws for them after giving up 43. What did you think about just the ability to defend without fouling?
Yeah, I think we were just a little more focused when it came to that, having our hands off. They got a bunch of players that try to draw fouls. So it's just being precise with our hands.
You've seen how tight the standings are right now, 7 games to go. How do you feel like this group is rounding into playoff form here?
I think we're coming together well. I think we are competing at a high level, playing for each other, having fun with it. And I'm excited about what we can do.
All right, that's Andrew Nembhard. We'll toss it back to you, JJ.
Appreciate it.
I just stuck to the game plan. Have you locked in from the game. It's a player. He challenges you. I just did a good job tonight. Yeah.
We talked about this before, but how did you learn from each assignment with him? This is the third time you guard him this year. Basically, just how to deal with him on Sunday. What did you learn from each? What did you learn from each of those? What do you think you applied? I mean, I think you held him to 10 shots. It's just keeping him out of his rhythm. Basically, what do you think you did well there?
All right, sometimes you got to be aggressive underneath him. Sometimes you got to let him come down. It's just like mixing up the coverages, not letting him see the same thing every single time. Just continue to make him think
think the game as he comes off pick and roll. If you're backing me down, give him different looks as much as possible.
Right. So how do you think the double teams and the fires and everything else worked there as well? I mean,
Give him different looks. Sometimes he doesn't know the double's coming. Sometimes it does. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes I might reach and make him back up a little bit, make him fight over pick and roll, go over, go under. Just make his life as difficult as possible.
Team level, 90 allowed is the lowest you guys have had this season. When did you feel like, oh, we're having a good night on that end of the floor during the game? Was there any moment where you could tell?
Actually, I didn't. I was pretty locked in the whole time. I didn't realize we came out of the game. I looked up when it was 88 with like 2 minutes left. So, like you said, we did a good job tonight defensively.
What's that about what you guys did in this one compared to even 6 days ago when they scored 150 against you guys?
I think we didn't really change that much. We just executed where we needed to.
what does this game say about how far you guys have come as a defense? I mean, just
it speaks volumes. Like if we would have, you can always say if we could, would have, could have, should have, but like if we would have that, in-season tournament game back, I think we all wish we would. As you could see tonight, like we could have easily beat this team. We just needed to go out and do it. So
it's the biggest thing, just edge. I guess that seems to be the thing that Rick always says.
effort, coming out with the right intensity from the jump for 40 minutes.